Hey guys! Just wanted to say that this is a quick disclaimer saying that this video, as well as all videos on my channel, are not intended towards a younger audience. Despite the fact that I make things from cartoons and video games does not mean that this channel is intended for a younger audience. 16 on up is my targeted age range. Thanks! So, before we start this video, I just want to go into a few details of what I believe you should try to accomplish in your cosplay career at some point or another. One thing that I believe in, and that any cosplayer who's cosplayed for probably around a decade or longer will tell you, if you are comfortable and confident enough in your cosplay abilities, try to make your dream cosplay. What is a character that you've always wanted to cosplay as? Or what is something you've always wanted to cosplay as that you weren't ever comfortable or able to do because your skills weren't as best as they are now? Whether you want to cosplay a character that has a lot of intricate armor design, or you want to cosplay a character that has a bunch of detailed embroidery in their dress or in their shirt or whatever, or if you just want to make a character that's 7 feet tall and it looks like they stepped out of the forest, speaking like I am Groot. Obviously, don't do that if you're just starting out and your best cosplay ability is to use hot glue and cardboard. Nothing wrong with that. We don't judge in the cosplay community. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. But anyway, try not to do that as your first cosplay, especially if you don't have any experience with cosplaying or crafting or anything like that. When you get up to a certain few years of cosplaying and you finally are like, you know what? I think I can do that. Then I believe you should cosplay your dream cosplay character whenever you can. I was able to do that last year for Louisiana Comic Con. I was Predator. At 24 years old, I was able to officially finish that cosplay and wear it. And that was a cosplay character I had been wanting to do since I was about 14 or 15 years old. So, a decade later, I was able to do what 14, 15-year-old me wanted to do one day. Now, at the time, I had just started my cosplay journey, and I knew that I was not able to cosplay that character at that time, but I knew one day I was going to be able to do so. Last year, I was able to, and I was so happy. Another belief that I have is that if you still like this character, you should try to cosplay your first ever cosplay you did. Look back at your old photos from your first ever cosplay or one of your first ever cosplays and look at that and see what your skills were back then versus what they are now. If you still like that character, try to cosplay them again using what you know now versus what you knew then. Or if you didn't know anything then, or you just went off YouTube tutorials. Maybe you know how to sew now, and back then you used a hot glue gun. Maybe you have the proper paints now, and back then you were just using Walmart acrylic paints. That's what I use. Maybe you have access to things now that you didn't have access to or didn't have the money for back then when you did that character. Try to recreate your first ever cosplay character or one of your first ever characters. And that's exactly what I'll be doing today. So I am a huge fan of DC Comics, and I've been a fan since I was probably about 13, so a little over a decade. And I can confidently say my first ever cosplay was of Raven. Now, she was an incomplete cosplay because I had everything for her except the cloak. I was never able to get the material for the cloak because of the fact that I was 13, I didn't have the money for it, and we did not live anywhere close to a Joann's Fabric or a Marshall's, RIP, which I still don't. But I have money now. So I did everything for her almost from scratch. The only thing I didn't do was I used a dress, and instead of making a leotard, I made a dress similar to how she does in the comic books. More on that later. So I want to recreate Raven. I want to make 13-year-old me happy. And specifically, I'm doing Red Raven, the exact Raven I wanted to do at 13 years old. Now, my first introduction to Teen Titans and Raven in general was the early 2000s Teen Titan cartoon. And That's who I wanted to be as. This time, however, I have looked at a bunch of different references of Raven, and I'm kind of making my own version of her. You clearly will be able to see it's Raven. However, I'm doing my own take on Red Raven. A couple of things to point out before this video officially starts and you watch me suffer for 4 months doing just the cloak and the dress is that one, this will be in 2 parts. One for the dress and the cloak, and the second part will be for all of her accessories. Because if not, this would be probably a 2 or 3 hour long video. 2, everything I have done in this video, sewing wise, has been hand stitched. You will see that in this video. No, I'm not joking. No, I'm not crazy. No, I don't own a sewing machine. When it comes to cosplaying characters, I'm not the best person when it comes to doing it with a lot of fabric. I love building armor. I am just a person that builds armor better than I can make a dress. All characters I've worn that has dresses, I've just bought and painted or dyed or just added fabric onto with hot glue. So this will be my first ever cosplay from the ground up with fabric and stitching. And number 3, despite what my channel is about, I do cosplay tutorials, this video specifically will not be a tutorial. It'll just be a build. The second video will be a tutorial for Raven's belt, for her arm sleeves, for her all of her gems basically. That will be a cosplay tutorial and a build. This video specifically, part 1, will just be a build. Because believe me, you don't want to follow any of the steps that I did in this video because I didn't know what I was doing. Again, this is my first ever fabric cosplay built from the ground up. I had no clue what I was doing and I had to remake my cloak twice. So yeah, believe me, you don't want to follow this as a tutorial. But I think that's enough talking about the intro. Let's get into the video and you can watch me suffer as I hand sew everything. So here's a drawing I did of all the ideas I had to make my own design of Raven. I did some research on as many designs of hers that I could find over the years from both comics, TV shows, and cartoons. Like I said, I mainly took inspiration from the 2003 to 2005 Teen Titans cartoon, as well as inspiration from 1980 when she first appeared in comic books. Those are the 2 main inspirations I had for her design when I drew it up. But again, I looked at as many designs of her I could find over the years of all her outfits and whatnot, so that I could really make sure I knew what I wanted going into this. Oh my god. I apologize for that light. Hold on. Oh, that made it worse. Oh my god. It fits. I'm gonna actually cry. I have tears. Oh my god. Oh my god. Look at how clean that is. Oh my god. It's form fitting as it should be. It probably could be a bit tighter, but oh my god. Oh my god. The last time I tried to make a dress, I didn't know what I was doing and it did not fit me. It was too tight. Oh my god. I'm so proud of myself. Okay, anyway. Oh my god. And I like that this looks like a turtleneck because I didn't know how to make a turtleneck. This looks like a turtleneck. I thought this was gonna be too small. It's not. This. Oh my god. Okay, anyway. Okay, focus, Lou. Focus. Oh my god. So, like I was saying, I'm gonna have two slits on either side. I want them to come about here. The slits stop here. That's fine. I just have to rip out the seams a bit and come up to about where I need it to be. So what that's gonna do next is when I get the height of the stitches that I want it to be, which will not take long at all, I will then cut how I want it to be in the front. Because I'm going to take inspiration from Raven in the comics when she first appeared, and I'm going to do that first. And I'm going to take appearance from Raven in the comic books where she had her dress, where she first appeared, and she had a dress. It was just had a slit on either side, doing that. And after I do that, I'm going to attempt to dye this thing. So right now I'm doing a test strip of my fabric to see what it'll do, see how it'll dye, and it's a little hard to tell on camera, but that's pretty good. It's not black yet, although it's just been in there for like 5 minutes. It says to keep it for 30 minutes in here. Stir consistently. So that's what I'm gonna be doing. Okay, so I dyed that strip of fabric I had, and this is the result. So it's not black, it's burgundy. It's a little difficult to tell on camera. It kind of looks a little brown on camera. No, yeah, a little bit. On camera, it looks a little brown. It's just because I'm in this lighting. However, in natural lighting, this is not a brown color. It's like a very dark, bloody burgundy color, which, oh well. Uh, because this was just a little test strip, I only used half a bottle of Ritz fabric dye. For this whole thing, I'm going to use 2 bottles. So I'm going to dye it twice. And if I can't get it to a true 100% black, I do like this color because it's obviously darker than this. And again, in the sunlight, it's a very pretty color. So if I can't get it black, I'll settle on this because I have seen a lot of Raven cosplayers cosplay her, and they have like entire thing is blue or the entire thing is purple. So if I'm do Red Raven, the entire thing might just be red, but the dress itself will be a dark burgundy red instead of black, which I could make work. Do I want this to be black? Yes. Am I happy with this color if I can't get it black? Also, yes. So maybe one day I can make this black, but for now, I'll just use this color if I can't get it to be 100% black. So, on to the next part, finally. Now I have to make this basically stay like this. How am I going to do that? I'm not sure yet. As you can see, I had no clue what I was doing. So once I was done pinning all the folds and I went to start hemming it, I noticed I was having some troubles by my hips where the slits started at. Whenever I went to reposition everything, to repin everything so that I knew for sure how I wanted them to fold so that I could hem it, I noticed that for about an inch on both sides, it would fold at a diagonal line and then it would fall straight down, which is not something that I wanted it to do because it folded like a box and I ended up getting wrinkles and corners. And I couldn't figure out exactly what the problem was. I kept refolding, repinning, and it wasn't working. I then decided to do something that I didn't want to do, and I wanted to just see if this could work. And it did. I ended up raising up the slits a little higher than I wanted them, but when I raised them up higher and I went to fold them again, they folded perfectly and neatly. No wrinkles, no diagonal lines, no corners. So I don't know what happened there, but I guess they were just too short to fold how I wanted them to. So I had to raise them up a little bit. I didn't want to do that, but hey, in the end it worked. So I figured out what my problem was, and unfortunately, I did something I did not want to do. I had to raise up the slits on either side. I didn't raise them up too much. I think I raised them up I think my measurement was like 2.5 inches, 2.5, 3 inches, something like that. But I raised them up, and when I folded it again, it fell how I wanted it to. So yeah, I didn't want to raise them any higher than I had them, but whatever. I'll be wearing tights under this anyway. It's fine. So what I did was, I didn't film any of this simply because I basically did what you just saw me do to originally fold it over, just 5 more times. I folded it, pinned it, tried it on, folded it, pinned it, took it off, measured it, folded it, pinned it, tried it back on, and I did that like 5 times before I settled on this. Now I got rid of the original stitching by just cutting out that whole slip. I ended up cutting about maybe that much fabric from what I originally had, and half of that fabric was folded. But yeah, so anyway, time for the back, which if I had a dress form, it would make this 10 times more easier, but I don't have one. All well. So what I think I'm just going to do is I'm just going to grab it from like this, grab my bobby pins or whatever they are, pin it, and then just take it off and kind of go at an angle. Not as much of an angle as this, but just go at an angle. So I think that that's what I'm going to do. Hey, first go. Hell yeah. This is a little shorter than this one. Fuck it. But hey, first try. Not bad. All right, first time to fold, and it's good. All right, I'm gonna cut and sew. I am so proud of myself. So, yeah, I was right. This side is like slightly higher than this side, and I can see that. But you know what? I don't care. I don't care. I really don't. It's not noticeable unless I actually point it out. It's fine. Whatever. Whatever. Yes, I will be competing in this dress dress costume dress. Yes, I will be competing in this costume when I wear it to my next con. When that is, I'm not sure, but I don't care. I don't care. Now, time to shorten this thing. Alright, so this is after the first round of dyeing. This is my test strip, and here's the actual thing. Again, it looks better in real life than it does on camera. So now I'm about to dye it a second time, and we'll see how dark it turns. This is what it looks like. And in case you can't tell the difference, it's darker. Now, it's not black, clearly. However, I'm not disappointed, like I said. I think if I were to dye this one more time, it would come out black. But I don't want to because I'm happy with the color that it is right now. Again, on camera it looks brown, but if you're in person, it's like a very deep purple red-ish, which like purple burgundy-ish. So I'm happy with it. So this is my first attempt at a cloak. I will explain that in a second. So this is my first attempt at a cloak. Not bad. It's too short, but I mean, I'm a tall person, so I should have thought of that. It's too short, and the hood is far too small, as you can see. Like, it's not too bad of a shape, but it's kind of uneven on both sides. And if I were to loosely have it, like, I can't loosely do it. It would be like this, which I know it's not bad for a hood, but this is not how I want the hood to be. And I'm gonna have to refix this because it's not even on both sides. But for my first time making a cloak, it's not too bad. Kind of know what I'm doing now, so I know what I'll be doing to fix things. But essentially, I have to remake a cloak. So, yeah, that explains what that is. What I really didn't want to do was what I just did, and I bought two of these, which it's 4 yards of fabric, 144 inches by 44 inches, 44 inches wide, 144 long. And so what I did was I bought two, and my goal was to cut it in half. Not cut it in half. My goal was to just stitch it together, which it would make a seam down the back, but honestly, at this point, I don't care. And turns out I didn't need to buy two. I did not realize until after I started to sew that I could have just bought one and folded it in half. Oh well. But that's what I did. So that's what this is. Can't really see it too well, but that is two that are folded in half now, but two that I sewed together and then I folded in half. So now I'm going to remake a cloak. I couldn't buy fabric that was long enough because I would have to buy it online, and I did that with that first one, and it didn't tell me the measurements exactly. Like, the measurements lied to me. So whatever. But this is 100% cotton, just like how the dress was made out of. Yes, this is the exact same fabric that dress is made out of. And so, yeah, I get to remake a cloak all over again. But I kind of know what I'm doing now, so I'm not going to make the hood too small. So this exactly is 70 inches. I measured it. 70 inches would be a little longer than I wanted it to be. However, I'm hemming it, so I needed some extra length. So yeah, 70 inches from my shoulder or from my neck down to my feet. That's about actually 60. Looking for this. 60 inches from my shoulder to my feet. So I gave me an extra 10 inches just to be safe. Let it pool around me and stuff. So now I get to make a cloak. I watched the video. When I did it, I'm going to rewatch that video so that I can understand what to do again. I will link the video to this tutorial that I'm watching down below in the description. But yeah, time to redo everything I did. As you can see right here, there's more hanging fabric in the front than I would like. So what I went ahead and did was I folded that with pins like I did normally, and then I cut out that extra bit of fabric and I rounded the corners a little bit because just folding it in half made like a big point in the front on either side that I did not like, and it became too boxy. So I just got rid of that and I liked it a lot better. I'm really happy with it now. I rounded it, it falls how I want it to, it doesn't box up. It's really good now. So now, what I'm gonna do next is I'm going to hem it and then I'm gonna make the hood for it. Now the hood I will show how I'm making it. However, I'm not gonna show me hemming this because it's gonna take far too long. My shorter one took me like a whole day to hem. I don't know how long this is gonna take to hem. So I'm not gonna show me doing that, but I will show you the technique that I'm using to hem it. I think it's called like a blind hem or something. I'll show you how to do that and then it'll cut to me making the hood. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your fabric and you're going to fold it once. You're going to hem it once. Then you're going to hem it again. And after that, take your needle and thread. You're going to go through the loop right here, or not the loop, the fold. There you go, like that. Hard to pick up a needle. So you're going to go through the fold first, completely. Come out on the other side. And then what you're going to do is take your needle and go through just maybe like a centimeter or two right here. You're going to pull your thread Then what you'll do next is go back down through the fold like so, just a couple of centimeters. Pull it through. You're not looping your thread. You're never going to loop your thread until you tie it off. And then same thing, just through a couple of threads, pull, and you're just going to continue to do that pattern. There we go. Till you get all the way to the edge. And on the other side, you can barely see the threads. Now, whenever you're done, how you're going to tie it off is, now this isn't the correct method, but this is what I was doing and it works just fine. You're going to find your thread you just did, go through, pull, oops, come on, loop it through, and you do that just a couple of times to make sure you're gonna tie it off, and then you cut. That's how you do a blind hem. And again, you barely see it on this side. Yeah, and then if you use same color thread as your fabric, you're not going to see it at all. All right. got it. Took me, what, 4 months, I think, to do all this. Had to remake this twice, or had to remake it to make 2 capes, that's what I'm trying to say. So yeah, the dress is done, the cloak is done. I will not be wearing shorts underneath this, but I have to do, the dress is almost done. Dress is like 99% done. I have to do something on the sides right here that I've been wanting to do, which I didn't do it yet. I'll do it later. But basically, I have some lace that I'm going to put right here to go down. I don't know exactly how far, but it's going to go down a little ways. It's got skulls on it. That's also what I'm going to use for the majority of my arm sleeves. But yeah, this is it. In the next video, we will be doing the arm sleeves, the brooch, the belt, and the shoes. I think that's everything. But I don't know when that video will come out, but that'll be the next video. And yeah, I'm just very excited. I finally got everything how I want it to be. Got this colored right. This is made very lightweight, but it's also kind of warm. So if I go to a con during the winter time, I will be hopefully okay. But yeah, this is everything. And that concludes part 1 of building Raven. I'm really happy about this. It's almost done. Keep an eye out for the next video. I don't know when that will be, but it'll be out whenever. It'll be the next video after this one, so keep an eye out for that one. But yeah, all right. See you in part 2. However many months that's going to take me to do. All right. Bye.